It's kind of wild when you stop and think about it. How much of our world runs on things we just accept as true without ever, taking a closer look? Today, we're going to peel back that curtain on some of the biggest gaps between what we think we know and what's actually happening. So let's get into it.
To kick things off, I want to talk about something you've probably heard your entire life. It's this creepy little fact that gets passed around all the time. It has to do with what happens when you're sound asleep.
You know this one, right? I bet a number just popped right into your head almost instantly. Go on, what is it? Think about it. Is it, by any chance, this?
Yep, that's the one. The famous, or maybe infamous, fact that we all swallow 8 spiders a year. It's so specific, it just feels like it has to be true, doesn't it? Well, about that.
It's completely 100% made up. Total nonsense. It was actually invented to show just how easily misinformation can spread online. And wow, did it work.
So yeah, you can sleep a little easier tonight. Seriously, think about it from the spider's point of view. You're a giant, warm, vibrating, snoring monster. The vibrations from your breathing and heartbeat are basically a giant danger sign to them. They want absolutely nothing to do with you. And this little myth? It's the perfect way to start our conversation today. Because sometimes the things we all believe are just flat out wrong.
Okay, so moving on from a pretty harmless myth to something way more serious. This is a place where these misunderstandings can have real, actual consequences. Let's talk about the massive gap between how we often perceive mental health conditions and what it's actually like to live with them.
So, take depression. From the outside, it can look like someone's just being lazy, or they're in a bad mood they could just snap out of. But the reality is a physical battle. It's the brain's actual chemistry being out of whack, making it physically struggle to create the chemicals for pleasure, or even just motivation. It's not a choice, it's a genuine medical condition.
And we see this exact same kind of gap with ADHD. The common myth is that it's just an inability to focus on anything, but the reality is so much more complex. It's not about an inability to focus, it's about an inability to regulate focus. That dopamine deficit means the brain is constantly starving for stimulation. So a person with ADHD can absolutely hyper-focus for hours on something they find interesting, but the problem is they don't get to choose what that is. It becomes this constant frustrating war between what you know you need to do and what your brain is allowing you to do. And then you have OCD. We toss that term around so casually, right? Oh, I'm so OCD about my desk. But this quote, this just cuts right through all that. It's not a fun personality quirk about being tidy. It is a tormenting, vicious cycle of intrusive thoughts and the compulsive rituals to try and quiet them. It's a mental prison.
All right, let's pivot from the hidden realities of the mind to something we all use every single day, but might understand even less: money. The whole system behind it is basically hiding in plain sight.
I think most of us kind of picture a bank as a big, secure vault where our money just sits safely, waiting for us. The reality is, not that at all. It's a system called fractional reserve banking, and it means the bank isn't just holding your money, it's actively putting it to work. Okay, let's break this down, because it's wild. You deposit $1,000. The bank is only legally required to keep a tiny fraction of that on hand, let's say $100. The other $900, it gets immediately loaned out to someone else. And in that exact moment, new money has just been created. Your deposit now exists in 2 places at once. The whole system is basically built on a bet that all of us won't show up and ask for our cash back at the same time.
And here's the part that really melts your brain. That piece of paper in your wallet, the numbers on the screen in your banking app, they have 0 intrinsic value. None. A dollar is valuable for one reason and one reason only, because all of us, collectively, believe that it is. It's a shared story, a massive social agreement that keeps the entire global economy from falling apart. And deep inside this system, there's this invisible force that can either trap you in debt or build incredible wealth for you. This chart says it all, really. Simple interest, it just plods along in a straight line. But compound interest, oh, that's where the magic is. It's your interest earning its own interest. It's either your worst enemy or, as one source put it, it's your best unpaid employee working for you 24/7.
All right, now that our brains are good and stretched, let's have a little fun. Time for a lightning round. We're going to rip through a few more of those obvious truths that are, well, not true at all. You ready? Come on, you've heard this your whole life. Your parents definitely told you this. Eat your carrots, you'll be able to see in the dark. Nope, this was actually brilliant propaganda from the British during World War II.
They started telling everyone that their ace pilots had amazing night vision from eating tons of carrots, when in reality, they were covering up their top secret new technology, radar.
I mean, you can see it, right? You look at your wrist, the veins look blue. So the blood inside has to be blue, at least until oxygen hits it, right? Not a chance. Your blood is red, always, period. The blue look is just an optical illusion. It's all about how different colors of light get absorbed or reflected by your skin. It was never, ever blue.
And finally, the big one. The classic we all learned in kindergarten. Sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. The 5 senses. That's it.
Yeah, that idea is about 2,000 years old, and it is seriously due for an update. We have so many more senses. Things like your sense of balance, your ability to sense temperature, pain, and one of my favorites, proprioception, which is your brain's amazing, unconscious awareness of where all your body parts are in space. So, okay, spiders, our bodies, our brains, even the money we use, we've debunked a lot of stuff. So what's the thread that ties all of this together?
It all comes down to this. The reality hiding in plain sight is often the most important one. By daring to question the things we just take for granted, we start to get a much deeper, much more honest understanding of ourselves and the world we're living in.
And really, that leaves us with one final thought. We've barely scratched the surface today. So the real question is for you. What assumptions are you living with right now? What other obvious truths in your own life might not be true at all? Stay curious.